1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sound. No. Sound. 1, 2. Right. That seems to be doing okay. Ladies, as always, yes, ladies, gents, take one and pass them along. But I've got these ear pods in because they're a mic, so I can kind of hear you. Maybe that's a good thing. I've taken the noise cancellation out, but it's like, oh, it's weird. Right. We'll give it another wee minute. We're a wee bit sharpy. Hey, welcome everybody. Can't have a coffee without a syrup. Is anybody else like that? No? Oh, amazing. That's awesome. Is anybody staying for both sessions today? Yeah. So I've got, just so you know the running order, what are we? So we're 2:30 to 3:15, part 1, then 3:30 to 4:15. Well done, Ashley. For part 2. You don't need to stay for, like, it's not like a prerequisite. It's just kind of builds on it. So yeah, there we are. So if you're not booked in, you didn't tell me. Right, let's get going. Okay, is everybody, I'm not really sure where I'm going to stand here. I'll just kind of float about, do my usual. I'll go here. So, is everybody here a teacher, or Anybody who's not a teacher? Right, so a few of you. Right, so the way that Lydia's kind of asked me to do this, it doesn't matter that you're not a teacher, don't worry, it's fine. There's no, hopefully this will help and inspire you to do your training. I don't know, yeah, I'm all for like pushing people out of their comfort zones. But this is fine, there's no tests or anything. Right, so what we're doing is more like a kind of workshop based rather than a posture type class. So hopefully you're going to leave with some skills, right? So it's not going to be like we're going to lie down and roll about a mat and do lots of nice stuff. So I'm going to treat you that you want to leave learning something. Yeah, something you can use, okay? Now, even if you're a participant, I deliver, I might not go into as much detail, but I deliver this to, I'm going to say normal people, you know what I mean? Normal people as well. So if I talk too fast, please tell me. Glaswegians tend to run with their chat, so I'll try and slow down. So for those that maybe haven't met me, I know there was a few that were in this morning's classes. I'm SJ, Sarah Jane, but everybody calls me SJ. I'm a Pilates teacher. I've been a Pilates teacher 20, I think we're in 24th year, which gives me the fear. That's a long time. So I still feel about 21, but clearly not. And as well as being a Pilates teacher, I'm a podiatrist. Not somebody thought I said a nutritionist. I said podiatrist earlier today. I thought definitely not that. So feet, but I primarily specialise in the mechanics of feet, so the biomechanics, so the musculoskeletal conditions. And I'm currently a PhD student specialising in rheumatology, which is like all your systemic, so your rheumatoid arthritis, your ankylosing spondylitis, those kind of things, with a special interest in biomechanics. So I really like human movement, like really geeky, like really like it. So hopefully today I can give you some stuff that you can use, right? I don't want to patronize you, right? But I also don't want you sitting here thinking, what is she going on about? I have no idea. So please, there's no daft questions. I'm not going to assume you know something, but if I appear patronizing, I'm not. I'm just hopefully making it something that's manageable for you to absorb. Who in here teaches Pilates? So quite a lot of you. For those that are still teachers, what do you guys, sorry, as we have to speak up in here because it gets quite loud. What do you guys teach or do? Shout out. I want this two-way conversation. What do you do? So all your own stuff. Excellent. Over here. Nothing? You go to Pilates. Nothing? No, you do nothing. Right. Okay. Right. So Pilates again over here. Nothing. You take part. Yep. Take part. Well done. Doing your mat level 3. Good girl. Good. Okay, so a kind of branch of rheumatology. Yeah. Before I started doing it, I could move my arms up there. So do we all know what that is? Fibromyalgia. Really, 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 really sore joints all over, right? And it's systemic, so it's your immune system, it's your body. So bloody miserable. Okay, right? So yeah, yeah, really, really sore. But movement is good. Okay, you do need to move. Over here. Oh, we have fresh blood. Never been in fight. So you obviously keep fit. Are you like personal trainer or that kind of side of stuff? Okay, so you've left it. Oh, to get the story there. Right, okay. And then up the back, you take part in classes. Fab. Right, who have I missed out? Fab. So you got a lot of issues. Right, okay, because I want to make this something that gives you what you need. So we've got a mix of people want to get in and do stuff, mix of people maybe doing stuff, like maybe already trained, wanting to maybe step up a bit, yeah? Mix of people just like, I need you to just fix me because I'm broken and I need to leave with stuff that I can do, yeah? Yeah, up here, what do you do? Oh, perfect, all right, so no excuses for you. Teach Pilates, right, and who have I missed out here? So, perfect. Yeah, so the spine corrector and sorting everything out. Okay, right. So we've got a big mix here, right? So first up, I've given you all a bit of paper. Now it's a wee bit dark in here, so apologies. If your eyesight is rubbish, then I think what we'll do, I'm going to get them to put the lights on because I think it would be better to see this, wouldn't it? Because I can't even see it. No chance. Excuse me, could you pop the lights on in the squash court? Is that okay? Yes, thank you. Right, that's better, isn't it? Oh, hello. I can see you. Now you can see my mad roots. Right, okay. Right, can everybody read that? If not, help the person next to you. Be nice. Right, so what we've got here is posture dysfunction. So many years ago, I did a CPD training with a company called the American Posture Institute. It's primarily chiropractic type training. So as well as being a podiatrist, I'm also a manual therapist. So I did that way before becoming a podiatrist. So I wanted to learn to manipulate, move, and work with posture distortion. So anyway, this is really where I learned about all of this, and I incorporated that into the Pilates side of things. So that's kind of the evolution of where we went from this. Now, what you can see here is the body split into 4 quadrants, okay? When you're looking at assessing maybe your own posture or a client's posture, you need a system, okay? You can't just like, yeah, that looks a bit wonky, you know, what are you looking at? What are you actually looking for? So, up we get, we're at fit camps. Get up, right, find a partner. It's like being at school. Oh no, I'm going to be left out. If there's an odd number, do a 3, have a threesome. You have permission. Oh, we know it. Oh, fabulous. Right, okay. So I want you to pick up your posture dysfunction sheet, and we're going to start to just look at each other. Number yourselves 1 and 2. Give yourselves a number. Number 1 is going to be assessed first. Number 2, you're going to be doing the assessment, and then you'll switch over. Yes? Right. So the first thing I want us to do, system. Get your shoes off, get your socks off. I don't care how bogging your feet are. Big fungal nails and all the rest of it. If you have any verrucas, fine. Sort them out for you. Right? Just get them off. Oh, there's some crackers in here. Right. I love starting when I'm doing my posture assessment. I'll always start from posture quadrant 4, which is the bottom one. That's just how I work. It's not like set in some stone that you have to do that. So what I want you to do is I want you to just look at, don't even guide number 1, right? I don't want you to tell them to stand a particular way. Because what happens when you know you're being assessed by your posture? What do? Stand up straight. You act like a weirdo, okay? You'll do like bellies in, the boobs are out, the shoulders are right. That's not a true reflection of where you are. So we want to just see people when you're assessing or yourself at their natural, as much as you can, position. So I don't want you to say stand shoulder width apart. I don't want you to say, just don't even do any of that. Now, what I want you to do for your partner, so number 2s are the ones that are being assessed, because I forgot which one. Basically, the ones that are being assessed, put your bit of paper down. Okay? The ones that are being assessed, put your bit of paper down. So if you're being assessed, as in that person is looking at you, you put your bit of paper down. Now, what I want you to do to switch off their sensory input, because your eyes, you'll see stuff. So you'll be looking at the lifestyle lounge there and you'll be going, yeah, it looks straight. You'll move in particular ways by your visual input. So we're going to remove your visual input. So take a big deep breath in, close your eyes, and then just relax everything. So get your clients to shut their eyes. It switches off that sensory input and you'll get a truer reflection of where they naturally fall to. Now, they're still not relaxed, are they? They're still standing like they're ready to be shot. Like, they're ready. Right, open your eyes. Terrible. What we want to do is encourage our clients to fall to where they naturally go, right? So you want to just breathe in, breathe out, and just relax. Let it all go. Because if you're holding stuff, it's not a reflection of where you are when you're not thinking about this. So just have a look at their feet. Right now you might not notice. So the first thing you've got, foot pronation. That means just rolling in. Have they got an arch? Look at their arches. Are they the same? Do their arches look the same? Are they different? Knee out or toe out flare, when you're looking behind your partner, how many toes can you see from behind? Can you see 2? Can you see loads? How many can you see? Okay, then have a wee glance at their knees. Hyperextension just means going beyond the range of motion of the joint. So are they standing like mega, like locked out like this, where it just looks really odd? Yeah, hyperextension, hypermobility, and then our knees will be looping. Okay? Yeah, it's not nice. Right, and then open your eyes and just relax. Right? Now do the same, and I want you to just think to yourself, like, this isn't a big test, but I just want you to start looking. What are we looking for? And we will go over what this means, I promise. Now do the same for your partner. So pick up your bit of paper. Your partner puts down their paper. Your partner do the technique. They close their eyes. You take an inhale breath, exhale, and relax. Let everything go. Look at their feet. Where is the arch? Have they got a big arch? Have they no arch? Is there a distance? Do their feet look the same, or is one looking really weird? Are their toes the same length? Are their toes going ski-whiff? Are they different directions? How many toes can you see from when you look at them from behind? And you look at them from behind, how many toes can you see? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it all 5? I'll tell you what the normal is in a minute. Knees, hyperextended. Okay? Feel that? And then open your eyes and relax. Right, I know right now you'll be like, well, now I've gathered information. What do I do with that information? Right. Can I have I don't care who it is, a volunteer. And I want us to gather round in a big circle, like a witch. We're going to put you in the centre. Right, come on round, everybody. Bring your bits of paper. Right, so we're going to cast a spell on you. Sorry, my ex-husband, that's why he's ex, said I was a succubus. Do we know what that is? It's fabulous. A succubus. It's a compliment. But it's not really. He didn't mean it as a compliment. So it's a female she-devil that sucks the souls out of men into her vagina. I know. Very specific. I was like that. Thanks. Okay, seemingly I sucked his soul out. Anyway, how did we go into that? Oh, the witch stuff. It can always go anywhere here. Right. So we're focusing in posture quadrant 4 here. Right. Now, when you're doing this in real life in your own setting, it's up to you how you do it. This is just my system. I start from the feet. Everything for me, that's the foundations. It's like the foundations of your house. If things are off there, they're off elsewhere. Okay? So, close your eyes. Give me that bit of paper. Take a big inhale breath. And then as you exhale, just let everything relax. Now, first things that we wanted to look at was pronation. So we're looking for the obvious. Do they look even? And I can see she puts more pressure through her left lateral aspect of her foot than she does in her right, for whatever reason. I don't know why yet, I just can see it. I'm just spotting the obvious. She leans more on her left. Yeah, okay. Next thing we looked at was this toe out flare, right? I said to you, how many toes can we see from behind? Right, and actually not bad. We can only see the wee toe with this particular patient, yeah? That's pretty normal. If some of you were seeing more toes, right, it's not generally normal, right? But again, we're not diagnosing here. We're just observing that there are more toes than normal. And then the knees, I mean, there's a little bit of hyperextension here, isn't there? But it's not too bad. And we've got a little bit of the knees touching, right? Okay. So let's relax and let's put this into context. What did we do with this? So you can join the rest of the witches. Back to your cauldron. Right, so in terms of pronation, in terms of posture, right, if we've got rolling in, so who's got a bunion? Oh, we've got a cracker here, right, come on in here, right, come on. Oh, right, I would like to find, has anybody just got one bunion? Yes, starting to deviate. We've got subluxation there of that second one. So, you had surgery in that one? Yeah. She's like, oh no. It's like, let's have a look. Yours are quite interesting. Right, okay. So, as are yours, right? So what we're wanting to look for here, right? See how if we look at this particular lady here, but our feet look the same, right? Don't they? Right. So this is more than likely hereditary. Okay. It is. Yeah. What's that? You're right. Yes. Your wee granny. Oh, actually, you're doing amazing. Thank God. Hey, your dad's shaking. Yeah. So when you see that is definitely hereditary, but we can see the right one's worse than the left. Do you see that? Okay. So what you're looking for is asymmetry, right? So there might be a reason that the right side's. I'd probably say that she's maybe favouring that side. She's maybe using that side more. There'll be a reason for it. But when we've got right, you in there, come on. Into the centre. Get in there. Yeah. So, and look at her toenails. Like we've got some trauma there. Or is that nail polish? Oh, that's fine. Nail polish is fine. I thought it was a big bruise. Right. So can we see? Right. When I'm looking at this, so we're looking at posture quadrant 4. Right. We see, get in and get close, and what is it you're looking for, right? But can you see on here, she rolls in, right? So there's actually less of an arch there than there is here, but she's getting pain around this big toe joint, right? She can see there's a bit of a bony prominence here, right? So that's a bit more bumpy than this here. Now we're going to be a bit deeper than maybe where you would go with posture, but you're looking for differences. I want to get that across. It's like you don't want differences. Differences are not what you want to see. Here, both are the same, so actually it's not as bad as if you'd one that was, if one was like really gone, like buniony, I'd be like, why? That's more of a concern to me than bilateral. This is more than likely hereditary. Okay, so as much as a pain in the bum or something systemic, something growing that's destroying the joints. Okay, so with this though, they're not the same. Look at how she's putting more weight on this and not on this. Okay, so there's functional stuff going on there that's beyond the remit of where we're going to go there, because we'd probably need a good hour and a half with you. But from here, she pronates more, right? So right now, all you're doing is gathering your information. You might not know what that information means, but you're gathering it, right? Now, she's getting pain here. Now, I would suggest she's got limited range of motion here. So if I pick this big toe up, so you look straight ahead for me, and I attempt to lift that up, what I should see, who's got a normal, nice foot? Come in here. Right, I'm a bossy bitch, it's fine. Right, That's a girl that's situated at all times. I am never situated at any time. Right. Oh. Now, what I want you to watch here is I want you to watch the toe, the arch, and the tibia. So this bone, this arch, this bone, right? And I want you to watch what happens when I lift this toe up. Okay? The arch lifts and the tibia rotates. Normal function. That's called the windlass mechanism. You ready? Okay. Do we think we're going to see the same thing? Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Sending you to the knacker's yard, that's it. So, totally different foot function. Okay. So, her windlass mechanism does not kick in at all. Windlass mechanism is that point where you push off when you're walking. These things need to happen. It recoils, you've got the plantar fascia under here. You've seen that lovely arch profile lift. That's what's meant to happen. We get this tension of the tissue that stores energy. You're bending, you're pushing forwards, and you propel. And at the same time as all that happening, this bone here, the tibia, rotates. Okay, and if that's not happening, knees, hips, back. Yes. Okay. So she's not ready for the knacker's yard, right? But we've definitely got some osteocytes here, right? We don't need the ultrasound scan. We can see that, right? And it will be sore because there will be, don't hit me, there will be arthritic changes in that joint. Yeah. As soon as you mention that, okay? Now, you still mobilise it, you still release it. That's beyond the scope of where we're going here because we've got lots to get through. But we can see how you can just start to see stuff, different stuff. Now, I'm interested in why she's doing that with her foot and that foot, because that foot, she's actually putting more pressure on that foot and doing something weird with that foot. So she's dropping this arch down for some reason. Look at her knee on this side as well. Right, this is more hypoextended than that. Right, so she's doing some odd stuff. Right, so it's about, what's that? Yeah, unlevel. We haven't even got up there yet, right? We're going to have to get the bigger raise. No. So, but what we'll probably find here if we to check here is that there's possibly a leg length discrepancy. I wouldn't give you that diagnosis. Like, please don't think you have a leg that you would need a proper assessment for that. But in terms of there's something going on, whether it's bone length difference, whether there's some tension and tightness around the lower back that's making it look like that, but there's something going on, right, that is causing this sort of presentation. So that's the type of things that when you're coming to your class, if you see a client like this and they're coming to you, you're thinking, I'm going to do some lovely side bends. I want to get some lateral flexion into their spine. I want to release that iliotibial band. I want to go onto my foam roller and actually start working that out. So you need to start releasing some of the tight stuff, but strengthening some of the weak stuff. Because if something's tight, it's tight for a reason. So you don't leave it flapping about. And, stretching's great, but you can't stretch without strengthening as well. So I would be for this, I'd definitely want to be strengthening the quadriceps. I'd imagine that the hamstrings, are you pretty flexible? Your hammy's okay? Or are you tight? You're not bad. But we want to kind of protect this knee. What I wouldn't want is down the line her getting medial knee pain, which is at risk of. Okay, so it's just, it gives you kind of a wee bit of pain output, but that will be coming from there. I would want to be strengthening up those feet. She needs to strengthen them. She needs to mobilise them and strengthen them. So, short foot. Do we know what short foot is? Come on, girls. Right. Okay. So you've all done the whole ball stuff, right? I want you to imagine you've rolled balls out, right? You've got in there, you've mobilised all those foot joints, right? But then from there, what we have to do is we've mobilised, and who was in the last session? Did we do arthrokinetic reflex? Oh, right. Who's not broken? Just like tentatively. Right, come into the circle. What's that? Oh, God. Right, so see how we're talking there about we're going to do a strength exercise for the feet, right? So we definitely need to strengthen you up, right? We need to mobilise certain aspects and we need to strengthen certain aspects. But I want to show you why mobility is important. Sometimes we just do stuff and we don't really know why we're doing it. I love science. I like to know why I'm doing something. So no shoulder injuries. Hopefully not yet. No. Right. Put your arm out straight. So anyone, right, I don't know you, this is not a trick. So push your arm up to my arm, and I'm pushing you pretty hard. Yeah, my core's working. And then relax your arm. Then push your arm up again, so same position. And then I can easily overpower you, okay? And then let me give you your power back so that I really am a witch, I really am a succubus. Push back up, and you've regained your power, okay? Now that's just a reflex. I really am not a witch, but contrary to my ex-husband. So all I did there, right, was I demonstrated a contraction. We were resisting against each other. I basically just brought the thumb, the saddle joint, the joints together. I basically just squished them together. That was it. And I temporarily disempowered her. When you have closed joints, it doesn't even matter where, that's her thumb, that I made her lose strength from her arm, okay? So I could literally make you lose strength from your knee and your hip by ramming joints together in your feet. So if you've got very close to your body, so you can see here, I disempowered her here. Temporarily, it would have come back. But that's why mobility is so important, because when you have closed joint space, so joints are things that move. So just for those, just not the smoky stuff. So this is a joint, your knee's a joint, your hip's a joint, your feet's got 33 joints in it, right? There's a lot of wee joints in there. So if you've got stiffness and tightness in any of those joints, you get weaker. That's just science. That's just how it is. So if you've got clients that have got arthritis changes, if you've got injuries, you've broken bones, there's going to be weakness in that. And there isn't only so much you can do. Your feet are definitely, you'll find your balance and stuff you'll struggle with massively, because you'll be losing that proprioceptive feedback and that ability to get the muscles to work, because they're going on holiday, they're off, right? So we've got to work and get that strength back in as much as we can. We don't just go, oh, well, that's just it, right? We have to work with what we've got. We might not be able to fix it, but we try and delay it or stop it getting worse, right? Or you end up that's where it goes, okay? We know that, okay? So we mobilize first. That's why we mobilize first. That's what a chiropractor does. They don't just crack your spine, they actually help your nervous system. That is your nervous system, okay? So mobilize your feet first. I don't really care how you mobilize your feet. Roll a ball, grab them, mobilize them, pull them, wiggle them, stretch them, front ways, back ways. There's no wrong or right here, right? But get them moving. Get them out your coffins, your shoes, get them naked, and get working them, okay? Obviously be careful if you can't feel in your feet, right? If you've got lost sensation, that peripheral neuropathy, you need to be so careful, right? I don't think anybody in here's got that, right? So get your feet out and waking them up. So that's definitely what we want to do there. Then we do the strength stuff. We mobilize first, because if we try and strengthen first, we're not going to get anywhere. It's going to be rubbish. Right. What I want you to do is bring this bone and this bone without curling your toes. Curl your toes, you get punished. She's like, right, okay, I better pay attention. I want you to bring that one and that bone together without curling your toes. Okay, that's a short foot. It's some simple, you could do at the start of a class. You know, get your clients, honestly, as a podiatrist, we do this loads with people. Anybody get plantar fasciitis? Good. Oh my God, she worked the muscles. Think about if you did squats or leg work. How would your muscles feel? Sore. You would get DOMs in them. But yet, we do something in a weird place and we think, that's sore, I'm not doing that again. Okay, so good, a little bit of cramp, get no sympathy. Short foot. Some people will also call it metatarsal doming. That's a bit of a wordy way of describing it, but it's the same thing. So metatarsal doming, and you're lifting that arch, okay? Or short foot. Usually when I'm teaching this in class, I will say, suction cup your feet, people. Okay, so it's like a wee suction cup. Yes, oh, you're like, I've planted you, haven't I? So, yes, she's like, I feel something up there. You feel something between your thighs, girls. Right, so what's that? Yes. So when we engage, she's like, oh my God. Sorry, I wouldn't really punish you. So when we engage down here, it affects further up, right? I hope that's kicking in. Now, so we've got short foot, right? Then we're going to do this big bone up here is called your femur, right? Now, who in here's got clients that come in, they've got back pain, right? No.
And it also is curving. It's curving. So eventually, like you will stand and I'm eventually going to go like.
You're just going to go here. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah. No, you just go, no, no, no. Yeah, delete that. So, not on your watch. So let's go back. We're going to move up to posture quadrant 3. I'm not revealing until we've done it. Right. So go back to your partner. Back to your partner. I probably shouldn't have any more caffeine, should I? Right, have a read at, see before we go on, I want you to look at some of the symptoms and posture dysfunctions of posture quadrant 4. Abnormal gait. Gait just means how you're walking, right? So gait, it's just a fancy word for how you move, how you walk. Plantar fasciitis, does everybody know what that is? Or opathy, basically heel pain, okay? Chronic ankle instability, that just means that sort of situation going on, right, where your ligaments are not controlling what they're meant to do. Unhappy knee, right, basically just knee sore. Hammer toes. There's no any hammer toes in here, have we? So a hammer toe, no, disappointing. So a hammer toe kind of looks like this. You ever seen like anybody's toes? Yours, nah, that's just subluxed. That's not really hammered. Yeah, it would kind of go like that. It would be stuck like that. It would be arthritic stuck. So that's a hammer toe. Bunions, well, we know what that is, don't we? Right. And then shin splints. Do we know what shin splints are? Right. So those are the kinds of symptoms when you see those kinds of distortions. So overly rolling in, unilateral type presentation, toe flare out, we'll get to that in a minute, that's usually further upstream, right? And then knee hyperextension. Those are the types of moans, I like to call them, that people will come in with, right? So if you see, and this is your takeaway, if you see those kind of things when you're doing an assessment, and if I was I'm a Pilates teacher, but if I was you, I honestly, for all your class, I would make every single person joining your classes, book them in for a posture assessment. Give them a posture assessment. They will love you. Have it as your package of classes. Buy 10 classes and you get your posture assessment, whatever. But honestly, it will massively help them and you. Right? It really, really will. Right? So, because it means then they're in the class and say, right, Julie, you remember your foot, you need to be working on, and they get it more. So they're more invested in what they're actually doing and they're understanding what they're doing. When your clients know why they're doing something, my God, they're invested in it, right? They really, really get it. Patient education is so important for compliance. Yeah, of course. You get it. Because if somebody's just telling you to do something, you're like, well, why? Why should I bother? No, and what's it doing for me? Is that a normal sensation? Am I meant to feel like that? So, and you haven't got time to do that in a class, like assess them. Don't even try. Have that a separate thing. It's a separate standalone service. Okay, anyway, I digress. Right, quadrant 3. So we're looking at the pelvis, right? Where's the pelvis? Thank God, right? We've got a good idea where that is, right? So pelvic, I love posture quadrant 3, right? So anterior pelvic tilt just basically means this, right? Think of your pelvis like a bucket, a big bucket. And it means you're tipping your bucket forwards. It's going, okay, anterior. Now look at what happens to my lower back. Now when you tip your pelvis this way, so you're allowed to move your pelvis that way. Good, right, just to get that clear, it's allowed to sit like this. But if you've got clients in your classes where their pelvis is sitting like that, they're going to have other things going on. Okay, so anterior pelvic tilt, lumbar hyperlordosis, so as in, is it overly lordotic? Okay, kind of like the anterior pelvic tilt. And then pelvic unleveling is one hip going higher than the other. Right, pay yourselves back up, have a feel. I want you to touch. Ask permission though. Don't touch the pubic bone. Get in there if you want. Behave yourself. Right, so yeah, so these bones here, so these are called your ASIS, so your hip bones, right there and right there. So what you're looking for, does it look forwards? Does it look really arched? Is that level? Does it look and feel level? Okay. If you don't know, you don't. That's fine. Okay. Get in there. So, does it feel level? Okay. So, does one feel higher than the other? Okay. So, like with you, okay, I would kind of get in there, and I can see this is higher, right, just by how you're standing. If you got, okay, yeah, and you carry that down. So you get one, flat. Roll me a bit of flat feet. Okay, so it's just, see if you have to really look for something. It's no there, right? So if it looks all right, it is all right. Okay, so don't be like, I think. Right, gather back in, back to the circle. I don't know why. It's just a bit better than everybody. Yeah, the circle of fun. So, what did we find there? Don't know. It was a bit weird, kind of touching, wasn't it? Like, oh. Okay. So, if you're a teacher, and we did this morning, a few people were asking, oh my God, am I all right to touch COVID? Am I all right to touch? I'm a Pilates teacher. I'm all right to touch. The rule of thumb there is, don't do something you feel uncomfortable with. Don't do something where you're stepping over a barrier where that client is not happy with you doing. Do not touch any inappropriate places. I hopefully don't need to explain where that is. And don't touch with pokey fingers. That's just not nice. Okay? And always ask, am I okay? And I can honestly tell you, in 24 years of teaching, I have never once had somebody say, no, don't touch me. People welcome human touch, okay? And they also really appreciate you really feeling, actually, because I can't see what's going on under that body combat t-shirt. I've got no idea what's going on under there. Like, I'd be like, that looks all right. You've got no idea, but you're also not going to strip somebody down to their pants. That's just getting a bit, really? Just no, right? So unless you have got an absolute need to do stuff like that, which I personally do not think you do, you just gentle wee touch, but be careful. Let me see how that is there. You know, you're not going to be going there, right? I spend a lot of time on my knees at work, and I'm usually, so turn around, and I'm usually sticking, because we do a lot of 3D movement analysis. So I'm usually sticking little dots on joint lines for the 3D cameras. So I usually always have to say to the patient, if you could turn round, please, so that I'm not literally with my head in their crotch all day, because that's pretty much where I spend most of my time down like this, and you're like, oh dear. So yeah, I just usually have a laugh about it, but just always think about your body position and how that could be perceived, right? So just ask permission and do what you feel comfortable with. Right, so, but you're allowed to touch, ask though, and no pokey fingers. So, anterior pelvic tilt. Let's look at some of the posture dysfunctions and the things that people may complain about. Lower back pain. Who has had a client say that to them? I've got lower back pain, right? Like, yeah, and you're, and if you've not, pretty much most of us at some point in their life will have experienced lower back pain. Non-specific lower back pain, basically, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just sore, right? I mean, we don't know what it is, it's just sore. Sciatica. Anybody had sciatica? Awful. Oh. And think about your posture when you're pregnant. Okay, right. Okay, you've got all that weight there, massively tilted. Oh, pelvic unleveling. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, so your soft tissue that is supporting those hip rotators. Your piriformis is a right buggery for that. Pelvic unleveling simply means, now you said something beautiful there. You've got a 2-year-old. What do you do with the 2-year-old? There is perfect pelvic unleveling. Okay. So these movements, these movements aren't wrong. You're allowed to do everything, right? It's okay, and you need to move your spine in all these ways. The problem is when you continuously stay in the same type of postures and load the same way every day, day in, day out. That's when your clients get that mechanical breakdown. The back is usually not the problem, it's usually something elsewhere. You said piriformis, I had to stretch my piriformis out. So generally what that will be with that sciatic pain is that there's some sort of something going on around the hip. It might be weakness, it might be tightness, but why is the tightness there in the first place? It's usually there because it's doing the job of something else that's not doing the job. So there's always a reason, right? So if you just stretch the piriformis, guess what? It's just going to go back where it was. You might give them a day or two, or you might do bugger all, or you might just make it worse, right? But unless you get to the root cause, right, there's probably some sort of weakness somewhere. There'll be a weak chain. Is it down the feet? Is it down? So that might just be a wee bit. Now you might be like, I don't know, that just exposed my head, but good. Because see, the more you know you don't know. Okay?
It's quite scary, actually.
Yeah.
You got people coming thinking you can fit them
It's mental. Yeah. Like, I'm literally like, my God, 24 years doing a PhD, and I'm still like, I don't bloody know. Like, because it's like a big puzzle. So you've got to join all the connected bits together and find patterns, find things that work. So things for this, and we'll finish up with this, is pelvic. You want to be getting your simple pelvic tilts. How many of you, when you get down to that Pilates class, you're straight into the hundreds? You're straight into, good, right? Get the mobility. Get that mobility in there. Get them to slow down. Pull them. Oh, because they want the core. They want the abs. Yeah. Exactly. So, oh no, go, grand, go. That's okay. No, that's okay. No, go. Yeah. Oh no, go. So you want to slow it down. So if you've got a client and you've assessed, actually you've got quite an anterior pelvic tilt, what that will do, right, is it will pull all this forwards. Now look at what happens here to my hips. My hips close, okay? So types of things you want to see in your class: hip openers, quadricep stretches, iliotibial band type stretching. Okay, you need to release all that out. But why is that pulling in the first place? Right, so that's just a little bit of flexibility. Again, it's just going to go right back, isn't it? So where's the weak link there? So before we go, we started with our metatarsal doming. So suction cup your feet. That's how I describe it to my clients. And I always usually say to them, almost imagine your feet like a tripod. So big ball, wee ball, and heel touching, right? Suction cup, then femur bone, rotate. Okay, so I get them to rotate their femur bone slightly out. Absolutely, right? Now I want you to just put your hands on your butt. Do not do this to your clients. That's kind of a line. Unless, no, there isn't an unless actually. That's just it's kind of a line. Unless you're manually releasing something in their butt, which you probably wouldn't be doing, just stay away from the butt. So, hands on the bum, and I want you to suction cup the feet, and then femoral rotation. So you're going out the way. So you're doing what's called an internal rotation at the hip, okay? So you're rotating. And I want you to notice how different the ground feels, how different your thighs feel, how different your bum feels, okay? You're engaged. You're open, okay? By building these strong foundations, but knowing where to go. When you assess somebody's posture and you look at their feet, you look, see just now, just look, just start looking. You might not know what it means, but that doesn't mean to say you're on a journey. Be on that journey, embrace the struggle, and it just gets worse the more you know. Honestly, it just gets worse. You're like, oh my God. So I'm going to leave that there for part one. And part two, we do the rest of the body. So if you want the rest of the body, you still need to stay. You have a 10-minute break. But if not, hopefully you can go away and use some of that goodness. Okay, well done.
What if that's what you like? I'd love to get into doing this stuff.
So do you teach though, don't you? No, so not yet.
I don't. Yeah,
Right. First, but you're not doing it yourself, right? So you want to teach, right? So the first step, which is a big step, right? So don't like think, oh, this will be super easy, because it won't be, right? But in a good way, right? It will kick your bum, but in a good way. Do your mat level 3. So mat Pilates level 3, right? That will give you your anatomy and physiology, right? It will give you, just get up, put it on that, your mat Pilates level 3. There are loads of companies that do it. So there's a lady called Rachel Holmes that does, there's loads of, you got a pen there? No. There's loads of these companies that do it, right? You will not be short in finding somebody that will take your money, right? Hundreds of them. Right. So I would probably, if I'm being honest, I can't believe, actually, let's put it into the computer. Has anybody got a pen? Yeah, I'll do it on your phone. I'll write it there. So I would probably go with either Future Fit, right? Future Fit, mat Pilates, it needs to be level 3. That's your bare minimum. Yeah, that will take you from 0 to hero, right? You're then able to get insurance. Companies, choreography to go with Rachel Holmes and Kelly Reid Banks. She does Rachel Holmes, and it's with her company name is Choreography to Go. They do it, and she usually runs a course every month, right? And I know they've got another one coming up in December. The other one that you could do it with is Future Fit. Now, Future Fit's course is £1,000. Rachel Holmes is about 850. It's cheaper. Okay. So exactly, and that will take you through everything you need. And then, see, once you've got that, that's you rubber stamped. you can then add CPD on. So you then choose where you then go and specialise. That's your day dope, right? But you're about £1,000, and that will take you usually about 6 months, right? But you can do it faster. Linda, who works with me, is 67 now.